Before we take a look at this book, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been watching the videos lately where I sit down and flip through a book and just kind of talk about them. It's been incredibly refreshing to do this because this is what I love most about photography, and the views and things like that have been much lower as opposed to talking about, some camera, but the engagement, the way people have responded to the videos, the messages and comments I've gotten from you, it's been really, really cool. So this is definitely something I want to continue doing more of because even if the views are down, I'm getting so much more of an actual connection with people through it. So I just wanted to say, for those of you who have been watching those videos, thank you so much. We're actually going to be doing a lot more of those videos because today is kind of the first of a new segment we're going to be doing with a book of the month. My good friends Kyle and Tori, who run Baltimore Photo Space, it's an incredible photo book store and gallery space in Baltimore. They've always got an amazing selection. I usually just go on their website and browse their catalog just to find new books. But what we're going to do every month is have a book of the month that we will choose together, and I'll sit down and flip through the book, give you a much more detailed kind of look through it and just talk about the photos and what I love about them. And yeah, it'll just be a fun way for us to kind of collaborate. And right off the bat, I wanted this to be the very first book we talked about and that we chose to be sort of the book of the month because this is a book that I'm really, really enjoying. This is In Plain Air by Irina Rozovsky. These are a collection of photos made in Prospect Park in Brooklyn from 2011 to 2020, and I'm going to go ahead and read sort of the conclusion of the book from Irina Rozovsky herself, just to kind of give you a little bit more information about the book up front. I came to New York like millions of others, lured by a city pulsing with possibilities where it's not who you are or where you're from, but what you work to become. The city that never sleeps, they say, always buzzing with our collective dreams of making it, kept awake by our efforts to just get by. At the end of the day, people are tired from the reaching and doing and going. They fall asleep on the train home. My first summer is lonely and hot. The cement sizzles. I sit by the feeble breeze of my window fan, wait until the sun gets low, and go to the park. I slip in through the south entrance, the shade of familiar trees, a stretch of grass, a trodden path. The screeching streets are fading out. The city disappears. I go deeper in and am swallowed whole. Someone in heaven must have sketched the panorama stretching before me. People at rest, tucked into nooks and crannies. In each pocket is a different group or family, lovers, friends, different ethnic backgrounds, cultures, religions, all sharing the same place, the same lazy instant. This kaleidoscope, so serene and sublime, feels almost unreal, like a mirage. To make sure it's true, I take a picture. Is it the light bouncing off the lake or a certain peace that glows on every face? A humanity that's easy and palpable pulls down our guards. There are no doors to lock, no walls that separate, nothing to own. If paradise can be littered with soda cans and cigarette butts, then here it is. I come back again and again to realize that the people moving through the park are here 1 minute, gone the next. They come for an afternoon to sit, to stroll, but when they leave, the park remains. This big, slow, generous, and patient organism absorbs our sadness and echoes our joys. It holds and renews us. It keeps our secrets and records our histories. It is susceptible to the brutality of the seasons, falls into disrepair, has its moods and temperaments, but it never betrays democracy. It is a melting pot bubbling over in all its glory. I should also mention this book is published by MACK, which published several of the books that we talked about in the last video. Again, continuing to just publish really, really great work. When I first started flipping through the book, the very first thing that kind of caught my eye was how intimate so many of these photos really feel. It's really, really hard to explain, but it's like there are no cliches in the moments that she's shooting. But the way she shoots some of these photos, her distance to the subjects, and again, just the moments that she's choosing, it's like she has this other sense that maybe most people don't have. And there are so many different kinds of like activities and just situations that you see all taken within the same place. And I think giving it that kind of grounding element of everything being in Prospect Park and showing the variety of things that happen there It's a really, really special kind of collection. This photo in particular, like, stopped me in my tracks. The first night I sat down with this book, I stared at this one frame for at least 10 minutes without turning the page or anything. I was just completely glued to this photo. In a way, it feels like breaking the fourth wall, because two of the three people here, they're looking off camera. It looks like they're mid-sentence, like they're talking to somebody who's not in the frame, almost like they don't even realize that Irina Rozovsky was right there with her camera. But then you have this one man right here in the middle who is actually engaging with the camera and looking at her, and his expression, it just has this kind of like soft and comfortable kind of expression with the camera, almost like he's kind of like letting you in a little bit. It's really hard to explain, but it's like this slight grin, this like really relaxed posture, and it's such a just like calming and warm kind of moment and scene itself. It just feels like you're stepping into that world itself. You're not just looking at a photo. And I love this photo of this guy here in this tree. He's kind of sitting in this tree, sort of with his head kind of down and to the side a little bit. And off in the distance, you see all of these different people, you know, groups of people hanging out together. And it sort of just feels like he's, you know, this outsider kind of sitting back and looking off in the distance. And you have this woman there with her hand on him, almost in a comforting kind of gesture. It's really, really touching. I love the pairing of these two photos as well. You have this woman sitting here playing the violin, seemingly by herself. There's nobody else in the frame. But then off to the right side on the other page, you have a photo of this man just standing and watching, and the light that's on him is just incredible, but he has this look of just like wonder and amazement. It's almost like he is the one watching and listening to her play. And judging by the scene itself, the colors, it seems like these were taken at completely different times, but I love the pairing of the two together. Almost like he's not there watching her, but he's hearing sort of the memory of her playing in this place. It's a really, really fun kind of combination of photos. And she's not only great at finding these really just quiet and intimate moments, she's just really great at finding great light and color and making just really pretty and enjoyable photos. I feel like it's a hard balance to try and combine everything from making a visually pleasing photo, but at the same time, it has that emotion and that moment to it. The light, the color, everything just has such a nice soft quality to it that's perfect for these kinds of moments. I also love this one with this tree. You've got all of these kind of like curved branches hanging down, and right below it, this guy also in all brown, almost kind of blending into the scene. The way he's got his arm kind of arched out, sort of mirroring the tree behind him. She has this way of kind of including people and subjects in these sort of landscapes to where they really blend in with the actual surrounding. Not necessarily blend in like camouflage, but everything just fits right where it should be. It takes a lot to have a really great eye for, you know, visual things like that in photos, but as well as just having that sense for the moment and things to catch her eye. It's an absolutely fascinating book. And fun fact, her husband is also a photographer that we've talked about here on the channel, and that's Mark Steinmetz. So quite the team those two are. In Plein Air by Irina Rozovsky. Definitely check this one out at Baltimore Photo Space. If you're interested, I'll put a link down below. Let me know what you guys think about this book and this video in general. As of course, if you have any suggestions or recommendations of books you'd like me to check out, definitely do so. But that's it for today. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.